Hi there, this is Mr. Evans. This video looks at research and development in the context of how it can help an organisation become more innovative. So how can we define research and development? Well, it's the process of scientifically investigating new products and processes. So there's obviously a massive overlap between the amount of money a business spends on research and development, scientifically investigating new products and processes, and how innovative that company is, how able it is to come up with new ideas for products and new ideas for processes. For your information, really, I've got this infographic from The Economist, which shows the percentage of GDP that is spent every year in various countries on research and development, and you can see that South Korea is very high, but the pattern is basically the countries that spend the most on research and development generate the highest number of patents per million people. So basically these countries are coming up with new and innovative ways of doing things. They're generating patents, legally protecting them, which is going to help generate income for those countries and these businesses in the future. And you can see that Britain is actually relatively poor at investing in research and development, and unfortunately that is a bit of a theme. You know, investors taking a short-term view, looking for profits this year rather than reinvesting in businesses and potentially gaining future profits, because we're investing a lot in research and development. And this shows the amount of the percentage of revenue that different car companies invest in research and development, according to Statista. And you can see that Tesla is way ahead of most of the other manufacturers, and it comes out with a lot of new designs every year. So there's a clear link, is the point I'm trying to make, between R&D and innovation. So this is the process of research and development. Now, it's not set in stone, and you'll see different variations of this, but basically the research and development process involves these basic stages. First of all, we need to collect some data, or that could be market research. It might just be the observations of employees, looking at how customers interact with products. It might be collecting data about how much waste there is in the factory. Whatever it is, we're going to collect some data, and then we're going to try and come up with ideas. Or it might be the other way around. First of all, we come up with some ideas about potential new products, and then we collect some data. Okay, so as I said, these aren't set in stone, but they are part of the R&D process. So we're going to come up with some ideas for a new product, a new process, and then we'd look to put an initial design on that. So actually, okay, so we've come up with this idea, maybe we had a brainstorming session, someone suggested this might be a good product. Okay, well, let's just delve into what it's going to look like, what materials we're going to need, how big it's going to be, and get a design. And once we've got our design and we've got a bit more detail about what this product or process is actually going to involve, we can then undertake a feasibility assessment, where we think about, well, can we afford to buy these materials? Would we be able to sell this product at a profit, or is it going to be very expensive for us to develop it? Basically, feasibility, is this a realistic idea given our design and our current capabilities? If we decide that yes, we could go ahead with this idea, it is feasible, we'd want to come up with some sort of prototype, which is like a test model, if you will. That could be an actual example of the product, or if it's a service that we're coming up with, we might get some, maybe if it's a restaurant, for example, we might invite some friends over and give them some, a test meal or whatever it is. But we're going to produce a prototype so we can have a look at it, see what it looks like, and then do some product testing and actually see how consumers react with that. It might be that we actually sell the product on a small scale and ask consumers for some feedback. Once we've done our prototype and product testing, we'll want to do a final design where we take that, how the initial users have taken on the product, we do our final design, and then we launch the product. So as I say, not set in stone. You don't need to learn that off by heart, but that gives you some idea of the different stages in the research and development process. So the benefits of research and development and the costs of research and development are going to be very similar to the costs and benefits of innovation, because they're so tightly linked. So I won't spend a whole lot of time with these because I did a previous video on the costs and benefits of innovation. But if we engage in research and development, we're going to come up with new designs for products, better ways of producing our products, which should improve our brand image. It creates a USP and becomes a source of competitive advantage. That might allow us to charge higher prices than our rivals because we're really innovative and we've come up with a product that nobody else has. It's going to help us refresh our product portfolio, which is really important for the long-term survival of a business. Okay, we're going to introduce new products, and as old products, become outdated, etc., we're replacing them because we're investing a lot of money in research and development, and we're being really innovative and coming up with new ideas. And workers tend to be quite motivated in companies where there is a lot of emphasis on coming up with new ideas, being innovative, testing ideas, being creative. So it might make it easier for us to recruit staff in the future. We get a good reputation as a business to work for. However, obviously there are extremely high costs involved in research and development. It's going to be very time consuming to go through that process of testing, and there's a high risk of failure. And sometimes it's difficult to allow a product to fail, even if it's not that, if we've kind of come up with this idea, it becomes, a little a project that we're kind of nurturing, we're hoping it does well, and it can be quite difficult to say, actually, I don't think this is going to work, this is going to fail. But it's time consuming, there are a lot of costs involved, and there's a high risk of failure with research and development, which means it can be, which is a reason that Britain doesn't invest so much money in it. It's often considered too long term for some investors who want profits now, rather than run the risk of not taking their dividends out of the company, investing them in the company, and then there's no returns for them for a good few years to come. And of course, there's the opportunity cost involved in R&D spending. Why should we be developing new products when we can use that? We can use that money to maybe finance a marketing campaign for our existing products. So lots of benefits, lots of costs of research and development, heavily linked to innovation.